Dual Pro Jet Nationals at Atco, New Jersey. You know, safety has to be a primary concern when you're constructing one of these cars. With more on that, here's Brett.
So you've seen enough of the jets and now you want to get involved yourself. Well, like any other professional category of drag racing, it's not just a matter of building a machine and jumping into it. You've got to get licensed, but you've got to get licensed in the most stringent licensing program in the history of drag racing. And here's one of the men you'll have to deal with. Dick Rosberg, you're not only obviously the quickest and fastest jet funny car driver, you're also the IHRA Jet Tech Inspector. Now, what would a racer have to do? Let's use me as an example. If I wanted to build a jet dragster, I brought my completed chassis up to you. What's the first thing you're going to look for?
Well, we check the chassis over to make sure that it's a safe chassis. There's certain rules and regulations built in by SFI that they have to meet, how the chassis is constructed. I give it a thorough check over. You're required to make about 6-8 runs without me watching you. When we go to license you, I want to see at least 3-4 good runs, full runs. I just want to make sure you can get from one end to the other. I mean, the most important part of the jet deal is most anybody can drive it down the middle of the course, but it's starting it up so you don't burn the engine up and shutting it off so you don't hit the guardrail. Other than that, there's not much to it.
That's 12 runs. That's, what, 4 times the amount needed to, let's say, license it for a top fuel dragster.
Yes, it is. These don't drive any harder or easier than a fuel car. They don't tire shake, so they are a little easier, but the speeds are just like a funny car, like a fuel dragster. But it's basically because there's no engine to slow you down. It's a different sensation. You have a fuel car is guaranteed by speed. They'll just go so fast for as far as they go. If this goes further than a quarter mile, it will go faster. I mean, the farther they go, the faster they'll go.
And just how fast will they go? Well, I really wonder. We'll watch this weekend in a quarter mile and see. Meanwhile, you're looking at Lou Sattlemaier, who's ready for first round of eliminations. Lou gave us a comment about how fast he might go.
Lou, how fast do you want to go this weekend?
Fast enough to win.
and how fast do you think that's going to be?
Well, you know, it's really hard to tell the wind conditions, track conditions, and all that. We have run 270 with the car already in the 5-second bracket, so hopefully it'll be close to that today.
Will one of these cars ever do 290?
Well, I think it could eventually, you know, but it's going to take the right kind of body, of course, and all that. I mean, they become airplanes real quick if you're not careful.
Is the air and the humidity and the heat as critical to the speeds on these cars as, say, you know, normally aspirated race cars?
Without a doubt. You know, the intake is quite large, as you can see on these cars. And on a humid day, the car can slow down about 20 miles an hour in a quarter mile.
Wanted, 1950 Oldsmobile and 1937 Packard parts. That's inside Lou's trailer. I can only wonder what his next project is.
All right, Bill, I wonder too. Sounds exciting. By the way, he's driving a Ford Probe. That's his current project with a J60 General Electric engine. He's running against Dick Rosberg, the safety inspector licensing person you just met. Rosberg pulls out the win with a 585, 202 to Sattlemeier's losing 595. Our next pair of jets coming up right now will be Bob VanSciver, the track owner from Atco, New Jersey, that we already met with the Run and Scare Jet Funny car, sponsored by Snap-on Tools and Air Aruba. He'll be running against Bob Beaulieu from Windsor, Connecticut. Beaulieu has a 95 Oldsmobile Cutlass body with a J85 engine. The J85 engine is the engine of choice for these Jet Funny cars. Right now, they're doing what's called burner pops, warming up the afterburner. They're staged and ready to go. Listen to the RPMs. They're off on a run. Suddenly, VanSciver's chute comes out. He has problems. Bob Beaulieu will pick up the win with a 581, 263 miles per hour. Let's look one more time and see what happened. Bob VanSciver was out first with a great 486 reaction time, and all of a sudden at the 8th mile, he shuts it down. He has a flame out, and the parachute comes out. That lets Beaulieu pick up the win. Our next pair coming to the starting line, the young #1 qualifier, Rich Hanna from Enfield, Connecticut, with his 95 Pontiac Firebird. He'll be going against Mario Carranca from Port Charlotte, Florida. That Westinghouse J34 heavyweight jet engine. Rich Hanna with a 560, 284.90 as Hanna continues to set the pace with that #1 qualifying. He's running 5 60s at 280 plus miles per hour. Now, Rich Hanna was not the first man to go over 280 miles per hour. It was this car, the Rock and Roll Thunder, driven by Jack Dustman, who's running Al Hanna right now. Al picks up the win with a 582. But believe me, Jack Dustman has a real place in history with that run at Englishtown.
The name of the Dustman brothers will forever be etched into the drag racing history books as that of the first 280-mile-per-hour jet funny car team. But the Rock and Roll Thunder funny car is indeed still one of the most popular out there for a variety of reasons. But you, of all people, have got to be proud of that achievement at Englishtown, New Jersey, only a few years ago.
Oh, yeah, that was great. You know, at the time, nobody was even really close, like 276 or whatever, and went 281.40. That was just great.
Now, you were one of the few teams that stepped out of the alcohol funny car ranks and moved into this, almost strictly from a profitability standpoint, and obviously you've made the right decision.
Yeah, we did that out of a profit deal there, but as we got into the jets, we got caught up into the racing part of it. I mean, racing these guys, Hanna, Rosberg, Roger Gustin, it's competitive. It really is.
The intensity has always been there, but like everybody else, the drag racing sanctioning authorities don't want to hear that word.
No, I don't really think they do want to hear that, but I think it's too late. We're here and we're making a pretty big splash, and I think they can't ignore us too much longer. Every weekend, my brother and I, you know, we both drive, and it's kind of a battle deal. We both rag on each other, you know, pretty heavy about who got the best reaction time, you know, whatever. So, yeah.
How did we determine who was driving here?
I don't know. I'm actually 20 pounds heavier, so it just worked out that way.
We'll be ready to go with semifinal action. It'll be Al Hanna against his son Rich Hanna. That'll be interesting. And Dick Rosberg will come up against